got ABC News next. On the other side of that, more local news. And we'll talk with a guy who used to be a newsman right here in Houston, Texas, with his summary of the year 2011 in 24 words. It's 1:32 at News 92 FM, 63 degrees and sunshiny skies. Here at News 92 FM's 1 o'clock report, I'm Kevin Charles.
And I'm Carolyn Campbell.
All right, thank you, Carolyn. It is 1:32. How would you sum up the last year, 2011? I've had a pretty good year, actually.
I have
I started out the year unemployed, and here I am reading the news in the midday. I like that.
That's good.
Same for you.
Same for me.
Plenty have happened, noteworthiness all around the country, the city. It's just been one of those years that a lot of big, important things have happened. So how would you sum all that up in about, say, 24 words or less?
I don't know if I could.
That was the challenge given to our next guest, who is a former Houston newsman, who is now a writer and a Facebook friend of mine. And this morning I got up, checked my Facebook, as I always do, and there was this year in review in 24 seconds, or 24 words or less, from Daryl Holly. Daryl joins us now, I believe, from Washington, right, Daryl?
That's right. I'm in Washington. How are you?
We're doing great.
Hi, Daryl. Good to hear you again.
Back to town. We would want you to go ahead and give us your summary, first of all, of the year, and how did this come about? You said it was an old colleague of yours that asked you to do this?
Yeah, former AP colleague. I worked for Associated Press before I retired, and a former Associated Press colleague passed on a challenge to sum up New Year 2011 in 24 words. I'm usually a lot wordier than that, but I did try it, and so I came up with 24 words that essentially covered everything that went on throughout the course of the year.
And you even managed to make it kind of rhyme, little poetry here.
Exactly.
Let us hear what your summary is real quick.
I can share that with you. One person served, recession curved, capital shaken, Bin Laden taken. Gaddafi's reign ended, DADT rescinded. Wildfires burned, Iraq troops returned. Kardashians fling, Arab Spring.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That was really
You
good.
covered a lot of events there in 24 words or less.
Now,
That's great.
how long did it take you, Daryl, to come up with those 24 words? Because I always find the shorter something is, the longer it takes.
Usually I write these things when I'm on the train, but I work from home on Fridays, so I essentially sat down. It took me about 5 minutes. I just thought about some of the things that went on and decided I'd include a little bit about entertainment, a lot about natural disasters, war, peace, terrorism. I wanted to capture politics and the concerns that people have, particularly as we head into election season.
Yeah, I have to admit, when I read this first this morning, I had to go, DADT, what does that stand for? I looked it up. Google answered it, of course, don't ask, don't tell. It took me a second or two to figure it out, but then that was a big deal this year.
It was a very big deal. Gay men and women who served the country honorably as they have for generations gained the right to love honorably as well.
Here you go. Now, here's an interesting side note, Carolyn, that you may not know about. Daryl has a daughter who's having a birthday this weekend, actually on New Year's Day.
Oh, wow.
And she was born right here in Houston when he was still working here back in '87. And that's about the time I came into Houston and started working in this market. And Daryl made the news that day because the daughter decided to show up, but the doctor wasn't quite ready. So you got a little hands-on experience, right?
That's right. Jackie was born at home, and she's back in Houston to celebrate her 25th birthday with cousins, and I'm sure she's having a wonderful time there. I will miss her, but the rest of the family will miss her as well. However, I'm sure she's having a great time.
Going back to the place where it all began. That's pretty cool. Daryl, it has been a pleasure hearing from you again, and hopefully we can do that some more because you're involved in all sorts of things, and you're living right there in the heart of everything in Washington, D.C., where all this mess goes on every day.
I'm living in Washington, D.C., and loving it. I have an opportunity to write for some very interesting people, and I'll be writing more for myself with